Hello again. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor and privilege to be with you here again for us to learn the wisdom of God. Again, I can't stress this enough that without the wisdom of God, without His Word, there's no way we can live the life that we want to live here. There are rules. That just simply put, there are rules for this world for us to function and operate by. And the problem is most people don't know these rules. And because they don't know these rules is why they're suffering, their life is not going the way they want it to go. Two things can happen in this world. Either you go with the flow or you go against it. And everyone knows what happens when you go against it or you don't know, simply you're going to suffer. You're going to make mistake after mistake after mistake. And most people have fallen into that trap. So today we're going to discuss um, how do people get their prayer answers? How do you get the things you want from God? How does that work? Well, there's something called merits. Merits is like VIP, or you work your way up. Like if you are in an organization, you work on a job, you first start as an employee, then you work your way up to assistant manager, then manager, and on up the ladder, right? So that gives you privilege because you are now in a higher status. Okay, so a CEO of a company has more value than someone who's sweeping the floor, right? Than someone who's sweeping and cleaning and mopping, because a CEO gonna have more value. He has more merits. He has more clout. He has more prestige. He has if more opportunities to get more because of his position. So therefore, he has placed himself in a position to access more. So merits mean you have to place yourself in a position to access more or to get your answers prayer from God. Your prayer answer from God. This is what it means. And the only way to get it answered is because you have accumulated merits. Now, you may say, I know people who are rotten people, but again, they're getting this and this. Now, sometimes these people, it doesn't matter whether you're good or bad. If you pray consistently and you trust and believe God will answer it, that will give you the merits you need to get what you're asking for. It's that simple. I know and the thing is that people who do that, they truly believe, even though they're doing wrong, but they still believe God will answer their prayers. And because they have that belief and because they're praying so much, God answered their prayers. Now, there's a couple of ways I want to share with you that you can build up your marriage for God to give you what you're praying for. And one of the way, which was before sacrifice for sin, they would sacrifice the animal. You are bringing it to the Beth Amikdash, which was the Jewish temple where they do the sacrifice, and you would be forgiven. But today, since sacrifice is not taking place anymore, they don't exercise that type of service to God. It's your prayer takes the place of that sacrifice. So again, your prayer now, when you're praying, you have to be focused and you have to be genuine. Your heart, another word is you have to cry. You really have to cry, broken heart, for God to hear your prayers. But again, you pray enough, He will hear you and He will grant you. Now, sometimes you may not get it, not because He doesn't want you. Now, you say, well, why not? Imagine your child asking you for something that you know that's going to hurt him, right? But he doesn't give up. Mom can have this, dad can have this, mom can have this, dad can have this, mom can have this. Every day in, day out, every other day, every other week, he's relentless. He will not give up. He will keep asking and asking and asking. Now, there may be a point you as a parent may give in, right? Even though it's not good for him, but you might convince yourself, say, well, you know what? He keep asking, and maybe he is responsible. Maybe he can handle it, because why? He asks so much. He almost convince you that it's good for him when you know it's not good for him, but you give in anyway. Why? Because he was determined. And this is one of the things that we do. If you are determined and you're constantly praying consistently, you stick with God, you pray and believe He's the one that gives and takes, He will grant it to you. Now, again, sometimes He won't give it to you because He knows that it will cause you damage, not because He doesn't want to, but you don't know. For example, another example is you may see a woman or a man you really want. You say, Lord, he's available, he's handsome, he has this and that. You want him to be your husband, or you want her to be your wife. She's beautiful, this and that. You pray and ask and ask and ask. Now let's look at this from God's perspective. God knows the future, and he knows what this person that you asking for, he knows everything about that person. You don't know nothing about that person. All you know is she's beautiful or he's handsome. That's all you know. You have no history of this person at all. But God knows, and not only knows his history, he knows who he's going to be 20, 30 years from now, what kind of person he's going to be. So you ask for this person. Now, of course, God says no, and now you keep praying, and God grants you this person. And at first, you're happy, it's wonderful, you can't believe he's yours or she's yours. The first couple of months, it just seemed like paradise. Then little by little, it starts to taste sour in your mouth. This relationship is not what you thought. And before you know it, a couple of years go by, done tremendous damage to you. You barely made it out of life. You barely made it out of the relationship alive. And now you're upset. And you're saying, why did God let me have this person? Well, you asked for it. You kept praying. He didn't want to give it to you, but you were determined this is who you wanted. But God knew this person. He knew what would happen to you. Not because he doesn't want to give it to you, it's because this person is a danger to you. Eventually, they're going to hurt you. So that's why your prayer may not be answered or get answered for a specific person you're asking for. So when you're praying, don't pray for a specific person because you have no idea what this person is about. I do get it. I do understand. But you don't know this person's history and who they're going to be 10, 20 years from now if they are with you. How they could destroy your life in 5, 10 years from now. You don't know. So again, don't be specific. Only God knows the one that fits you. So again, the first one is praying. You pray, you develop or accumulate enough merits for God to give you what you're asking for. I've heard a lot of Christians, and they tell me that they pray and God answered their prayer. It may have taken a couple of months, couple of years, but he answered. Why? Because they prayed so much where God answered their prayer. Because why? Because he see you are determined, you are sincere, and you have built merits with God because you understand he's the one that gives. He's the one that takes. Now, another story I want to share with you was Moses. Moses did not enter the promised land. That was his dream. That was Moses' dream, to enter the promised land. And Moses knew he wasn't going to enter the promised land. So Moses started praying. It said Moses prayed 501 times. And if he had prayed one more, God would have granted him permission to enter the promised land. And God had to tell Moses, stop praying. If you pray one more time, I have to give it to you. Stop praying. Look at the power of prayer. God had to stop Moses from praying because if he did it one more time, God was going to grant him his prayer. Prayer is very, very powerful. And because 501 times, meaning it took 501 prayer for him, or 502 prayer for his prayer to be answered, because he built that merit from praying. The second way you can build merits with God to get your prayers answered, is when you do good deeds. Okay? Good deeds adds to your merit. So let's say you're doing good deeds and you're praying, that's even accumulating your merits much, much faster to get your requests granted. So meaning that you're helping homeless people, you're feeding homeless people, you're being kind to other people. If you see someone in need of something, you're there to help them. You're kind with them, you're gentle, you understand, you have compassion for them. So you're making these people feel at ease. People who are sick, you go visit them, you make them feel good. These are the kind things that you do to other people, and God recognizes that, and that adds to your merits, okay? That adds to your merits. So it's very important that we are kind to people no matter what. Even have a kind thought about that person. Do not think negative of that person unless that person is wicked or evil. If not, do not think negative of that person, okay? Because God can read and does read your thoughts. Okay? He does. Now, the third one is the service of God. Servitude. How are you serving God in your life? Meaning that, are you, the way people, that's something I think a lot of people don't understand, is what does it mean to serve God? It basically means follow the instruction in the Bible, what he says to do. What he says to do is what he wants you to do. Okay? So when a child, or when you were growing up, you were following the house rule your parents set down for you, the rules he set down for you to follow, that was serving your parents. But again, if you notice, at the end, was it really for the benefit of your parents? It was for you. If you look back, all the rules that was in place, you followed, it benefited you, not your parents. They put it there for you. It may have looked, it was for them, but it was really for you. Same thing with God. When you're serving God, you actually not serving him. You are serving yourself. Because why? That servitude, following the plans, following your parents' rules, is for you at the end. So when you serve God, you're the one that wins. God is not getting anything from any of you. I want you to understand that. Whatever you do, everything that you do and God wants you to do, it's not for him. It's for your own sake. It's for your benefit. Now the thing is, you don't know how much merits that you accumulate from praying, from doing good deed and serving God. Because there's going to be a day where you can cash in those chips. You can cash in those merits with God. But again, you have to have enough merits in order for God to grant you what you are praying for. If you want your prayers to be answered, you must apply these three techniques. These three, it's not even a technique actually. These are the three rules God put into the physical world, that if you want something from him, you have to apply these to your lives. It has to be something that you do daily. It has to be natural. Same way you get up and brush your teeth, you don't think about it. Same thing. You wake up, thank you, Lord, speaking to him for allowing me to wake up, to have the breath and give me another day so I can serve you. And I know serving you is really for my well-being. It's for me. By me serving you, it's not really anything for you. It's really for me, because I'm becoming a better person and I'm accumulating merits with you for you to grant me my requests. That's what it's all about, okay? So when you're praying and you're asking, these three components have to be in your daily life in order for your prayers to be answered. Now remember, you may be asking for something that's not good for you. Keep that in mind. So God may say, yes, I want to give it to you, but this person is not good for you. Because it makes sense. If you are following God, if you love God, you're serving God, and you are his child, would God give you a snake? You ask for bread, he give you a snake? No. He knows this person. You are my son, you are my daughter. I know you, and I know him, and I know her, and I know they're not good for you. Just like you, if your son came home with a woman, your daughter came home with a man, as a father, you can tell right away this guy either good or bad. As a mother, you can tell right away this woman is good or bad for your son. You see, you know. But your son may not be able to see it, your daughter may not be able to see it. But because you're the adult, you're older, you're experienced, you can see it. You can see it right away. And your child may disagree with you because they want to be with this person, but you already know. But if you're a God, you would keep her from him. But since you're not God, you can only give advice. Say, honey, this man, this woman is not for you. Let him go, let her go. This is bad apple. This is a bad deed. This is not good for you. It's not going to turn out well for you. Walk away. Let this person go with their life. Okay, this is not for you. That's as far you can go as a parent. But God can actually block, keep this person from you. Why? Because it's God. He has a power. And again, do not take it as God doesn't want to grant you that. Remember, you have to have the merits as well. And you have to be the one also that's following God as well, that you are obeying and doing what he's asking you to do as well. So it's not just that simple where I pray, again, like I mentioned earlier, that you do have evil people who do get their prayer answered because why? They believe, they know whatever they receive or does not receive come from God. So they are determined. They constantly praying consistently until God grant them their prayer. So again, I thank you for joining me. Share this video, subscribe, let other people in your family who are religious, if they're Christian, whatever their religious background is, share this video with them. Because why? Every time you listen to this video, you're going to hear something different you didn't pick up the first time around. That's the beauty of God's wisdom. It's not that you hear it once and you're done. It's not like that. If you go back and I'm telling you, if you go back and you listen to this video again, you're going to pick up other things that you didn't even pick up the first time around. Second, third, it just goes on. Because why? God wisdom does not have any end to it. That's the bottom line. God wisdom does not have any end. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. God bless.